I know that some of you have been at this diversity, equity, and inclusion thing for months, and with slow progress taking place in your organization, you're feeling impatient and, dare I say it, possibly ready to throw in the towel. Please don't. If you're exhausted, it's probably because you're carrying too much of the burden. There's always more DEI strategy work to be done. And while you should involve yourself in the work, DEI initiatives have to be distributed across the organization for real change to occur. If your organization feels like it has exhausted all DEI conversations, then they're not approaching it the right way. Here's a litmus on the level of work that your organization still needs to do concerning diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI. If an employee complains to human resources that they feel like they were passed up for a promotion because of bias, does your HR team and organization have a way to navigate the situation? There are going to be workplace situations that fall outside of the framework of equal employment opportunity, EEO, that will still require a response. If your HR team doesn't have an answer to this scenario, then there's more DEI work to be done. In far too many of my training sessions, participants have shared this scenario with me only for their HR representative to ignore them. With the right DEI foundation, an organization should be able to reassure the individual that checks and balances exist within the organization to eliminate biases and troubleshoot the issue. Being able to equip human resources to effectively address the situation requires an organization to have a clear DEI strategy focused on three things. One, metrics and analysis. How does your organization run analysis? I'm talking about looking at the cross-section of various diversity attributes. It's one thing to look at promotions by gender across all of your supervisors. Now add a second filter and a third filter. What patterns could your organization come across if they analyze promotions by gender, and then by race, and then by age? When you drill down that deeply, you're able to uncover the root cause. Two, supervisor accountability. How is your organization holding supervisors more accountable in establishing inclusion in the workplace? It's got to go beyond basic and conscious bias training. Make it part of a supervisor's performance review to measure their efforts around creating more belonging and fairness across their teams. Three, a DEI corporate statement. How have you incorporated DEI into your company's values? It's advisable for your organization to develop a DEI corporate statement, or sometimes referred to as a North Star. It outlines the philosophy your organization will use to address diversity, equity, and inclusion, and suggests your organization's tolerance around DEI. Creating this along with guiding principles can set the expectations for supervisors and their direct reports on how complaints related to bias will be managed. Only when an organization has these three areas in place, along with strategy and process, will your HR team feel confident in breaching a conversation about preferential treatment and bias and have a way to troubleshoot and remedy the situation.